This is the Four Bad Boy Podcast. I'm your host, moderator, Fabian Big. So I got Horatio Major on the line with me. Anatole Cloud will join us in just a minute before we get to the future DC of University of North Carolina.
That's right.
Before we get there, we got to get through these sponsors right quick. Crazy Straws. If you crazy, you watching the playoffs right now, like those that get their ass whooped, you need a straw to bite on. Ryan got all the straws for you. Crazy Straws. Sundays and Wednesdays, we are on live. Sundays and Wednesdays. Sundays, we might bring it back during the summer. Who knows? We'll figure it out. Just for men, Ryan has the most immaculate beard in television. He does not use Just for Men, but if you use Just for Men, $6 for the box. Get it any store that you want to get it from. I'm old. I don't have time to be putting all that stuff on my face. I just let it go gray. Who cares? It's going to be there. Don't even matter. With That's Wave in the Room, Red Cans, Michael Atwater's had waves for 31 years. He is bald-headed now, but he has waves. I don't know how he does that. Also, if he has waves, since if you remember Michael Atwater over the last 30 years, he has picked up waves in the midsection. He put some That's Wave in Groom, so when he walked, you can see the shirt move at like an ocean.
Oh, man.
So it's wavy. The stomach is wavy. So just make sure that you let Mike know that it's wavy and all that type of stuff. David Podcast, chop it up. You talk about pop culture, music, whatever. Listen to his podcast, chop it up. Arizona team, 99 cents in Georgia, 89 cents in Florida. Diabetes in 99 seconds. Drink that can if you want to. I wouldn't even take a sip out of that can. You might get pre-diabetes. But there you go. Follow us on Facebook, follow us on YouTube, MyNightShirt.com. If you pledge a black fraternity or went to a black college, he got all your stuff for you. And of course, our favorite sponsor, just one of our favorite sponsors of all time, Henny and Coke, Crown Royal XO Ginger Ale, the Dark Liquors. What it do, Shot? What it do?
Same old thing, man. Same old thing. You know what I'm saying? Try to make sure I get on here, man. I'm actually enjoying the season being over. My goodness.
I know you is. I got we have a special guest coming on now. He's been on the news last couple of days with the controversy of pranking SHEDUR Sanders at the draft impersonating this the New Orleans Saints. We have Jeff Ulbricht's son on the line. Jeff Ulbricht. Jax. How you doing, Jax?
Hey man, I'm sorry to everyone that was bad. Cost my dad money. I'm a D3 running back at a small school. I was just trying to have a good time. I'm sorry.
Why did you do it, man? Why?
Because I was bored. I'm a D3 running back at a small school. Why not do it? It was funny, right? That's what we do. It was funny at the moment. You're only sorry when you get caught. Correct?
That's what. Yeah, but you cost your dad 100 stacks, though, dog. Cost your dad 100 stacks.
Yeah, dad should be fired, actually. I mean,
yeah, he should be.
Yeah, dad should be fired. Cause how did your son get prospect's phone number, personal cell phone number? And you're not OC, you the DC. So how does and the Falcons wasn't looking for no quarterback. So how the Falcons get SHEDUR's phone number? I mean, I know they probably got it a ways, but why would I don't know.
They set up some type of the distribution thing. Go ahead, Sean. Go ahead.
So part of the reason why that happened, and I know people don't want to hear this, can actually be traced back to prime time and SHEDUR. So they didn't have an agent. So what Prime and SHEDUR did was they basically sent out the phone number to the NFL, like what they call it, the NFL mailing list, or to the NFL. They tagged everybody. Head coach. I'm not gonna say everybody in the organization, but of course you would wonder why would a DC have a quarterback's number, but SHEDUR and them sent that out to the league personnel or the people that's those higher ups. They sent it out in a bulk email, right? And so what they pointed out was this was another drawback of not having an agent, because an agent would have been communicating, would have set that up, been the buffer between all of those people, blah 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 blah, and whatnot. And so that was another miscalculation by the Sanders camp. that I'll elaborate more on when we get to that topic.
Yeah, because I get it. Agent would have thwarted that fake phone call, and the fact that the agent could have did a lot more than what you did. I understand with some of the guys trying not to pay those agent fees. What is 3%? I think.
Yeah, 3.5%.
You know what? I talk about this a lot, and I'm gonna get back on topic. My one of my best friends from Cairo played baseball for 10 years. He didn't make a whole bunch of money, utility player. You know, he made more than we make, but he didn't make a whole bunch of baseball money. He had an agent. Agent came to the wedding. It's still his agent right now today. He's the head coach. He used to be the Cubs third base coach. Now he's a head coach in the minor league team in Daytona. And it's still his agent. He's still paying him. Because he said, you know, it's so much stress going on with what's going on. As an athlete, the agent buffers everything for him. He worries about nothing. Tickets, hotel rooms for us when we came and visit him, nothing. He did play ball. But go ahead, y'all. My bad. That's my little rant.
Well, I second that because, good friend of mine, Adrian James, I remember every time.
Never heard of him.
Name dropping. Just name dropping. Go ahead.
Nah. I'm just, it was a groovy time. I will say that. It was a groovy time from 2000 about 2004, 5. I remember being in the Hooters when they went to the Super Bowl, and I was the only person in there with the 32 Arizona jersey, and everybody said, "Nah, that's my homeboy." People tripping, bye. They won the Super Bowl, and my phone rung, and it was like, "Shot, boy, we going to the bowl, boy." I'm like, "I see you, boy." They couldn't believe it. I hold the phone up like, "Yeah, take that." I'm to my on the field with the phone. "Shot, boy, we going to the Super Bowl." I say, "Yes, sir." So it was a groovy time. It was a groovy time back then. You learned a whole lot about condos and ocean views and stuff like that, during that time. But I digress. But yeah, anytime you needed something, and you said something to him, he would pretty much, tell you, "Okay, blah, go see such and such, give such and such a call." He expecting you to call, and then they take care of that. So, for whatever reason, they chose not to go that route. Like I said, I guess we'll touch on that when we get to that point, that segment of the show.
Yep. So we're gonna get to, like I said, we're gonna get to a minute. I want to go ahead and start with the NFL draft. Not a lot of trades, but the one trade that really shocked me.
Well, that is dedication right there. That boy say he gonna make sure his family have some guests on the show. He gonna multitask.
You know what? I'm doing this for the school. I gotta get some snacks for the kids.
That's right. That's right.
It's for the kids.
Hey, that kind of dedication need to go viral. He got the Walmart buggy and everything. Look at them slashing prices. I see him slashing prices as he walked through. Big dog.
He's certified now. He's certified now. You can't tell him nothing.
Hey, you need to be trying to slash some prices too, boy. For real. That's a whole nother story. I digress.
Man, we won't talk about it. That jump there. That bullseye. All right. NFL draft. We didn't have a lot of trades, especially in the first round. We had I think 3 trades in the first round. But the trade that really took me aback was the Jacksonville-Cleveland trade. Jacksonville moved up to 2. Jacksonville moved back 5 and picked up a haul of draft picks where they'll have 2 first-round picks next year if the quarterback situation does not work out. Of course, Falcons traded back into the first round to get James Pierce, and the Giants traded back to pick 26, if I remember correctly, to take Jackson Dart. And, of course, we're going to talk about SHEDUR, who dropped our way to the 5th round. Saints need a quarterback. Pittsburgh need a quarterback. Browns need a quarterback. They took 2. From all the picks and everything, which team was the biggest winner to you guys? I'm going to start with Anatole, then go to Shot.
I mean, Cam was a perfect pick at 1. I mean, Shot been saying it since September. Cam, the first pick, was a good pick, but also like what the Falcons did by getting James Pierce late in the first round, he's gonna be a good talent for them because the Falcons had a good pass rusher since Vic Beasley. That's his name, right? Was it Vic Beasley? Yeah, from Clemson.
Clemson.
Yeah, that's last Favre they got Jalen Walker earlier, who was a pass rusher, who was a monster. Kind of undersized, but he's a monster. Plays hard. But James Pierce, he's prototype. I like that pick. I really did.
You waiting on me, Fade?
Yeah. On your shot.
You gotta go, bro. We go on your cue, Maestro.
Oh, my bad. Yeah, Shot. Who's your biggest winner for the draft? My bad.
I really think that this is a boom or bust. You're talking about rolling the dice. They could be back in the first round in another, top 5 pick in another year or two, or they could be on the verge of going to the playoffs and going deep in the playoffs. And that's the Arizona Cardinals. When you think about what they took in a pass rushing, Warren Sapp type in Walter Nolan, former 5-star #1 player in the country at his position. Apparently they had some concerns about his work ethic or whatever. Which I do too, because there's no reason for you with that kind of ability to not be a consensus top 5 pick. But if he put it all together, he's a problem. He's a problem. Okay, talent-wise, he was the best D tackle in the draft, bar none, talent-wise. And then you come right back around in the second round again, and you roll them dice. You may get that 5-2. Or that 4-3, or you may get that you may get them snake eyes. But Will Johnson, when you start talking about what's up, C Green, long time no see. But when you talk about Will Johnson, arguably the most talented cornerback in the draft outside of Travis Hunter, 1-2, you own to something if you hit on them picks. And I mean, there's a high probability that you can hit on them picks because those picks wasn't about talent. It was about external issues. So if you can go ahead and clear that up, Arizona going to be a problem because both of those guys can go to the Pro Bowl in the next 2-3 years. Both of them. Easy.
I'm gonna say this fade real quick. I also like what the Eagles did. They got Jaheed Campbell at 31, and to me, he was a good player for Alabama. I thought he was a top 20 pick. Yeah, for the Eagles. Eagles got him, and then they got the kid from Texas who was playing for Clemson. Can't pronounce his last name. Makuba. There you go. He was a player. I like what the Eagles did. Eagles and the Chargers. The Chargers, I love what the Chargers did. The Chargers got their receiver from Ole Miss in the second round. Sure. They did really good. Yep. I like those 2 picks.
And Denver. Who throwing at Denver? That only issue I had is he was more of a slot cornerback. But if he goes outside and holds his own, where are you throwing the ball?
In the flat,
that Surtain, South Florida product, and this kid, that's an issue. So yeah, but Arizona is my pick as big time draft, Arizona.
Yeah, that Will Johnson pick that shot me turf toe and the hamstring kind of slowed him. The turf toe slowed him down during the season. The hamstring took him out his pro day. But he was a dominant player for that championship run 2 seasons ago. This year, just an off season because of the turf toe, and that's a funny injury. I don't know. I don't think nobody on here has had turf toe, had they?
I've had turf toe.
Yeah, I've had it too. When I was in college, we had turf on the field. Fade. It was horrible.
Yeah,
it's nasty.
It's like walking with a tack in your shoe. So.
Yeah,
who wants to deal with that?
But real quick, family say this: Michigan, man, they put some players out in the draft of that deep of the line early. I'm like, damn, what Michigan? I see how they be Ohio State for 3 straight years or 4 straight years. How many years it been? They got some players.
I always told Atwater the draft will tell you how good your team is. It'll tell you whether you overachieve, whether you underachieve. Man, you gonna get them kids all that coke. Good. You gonna get them all that Coca-Cola? Goodness gracious.
He ain't paying for it.
Some of it for the children too. Some of it for the children. I mean, it's for the teachers too. The teachers.
Okay. I say, well, they gonna be running crazy around that place. Goodness gracious, that caffeine on slow. You gonna need a parents to know to give them that much caffeine. You need a parent to go out.
We just got done with testing.
Okay.
We got done with testing. Yeah, milestones over with.
I figure they're gonna be up for the rest of the summer. But anyway, we ain't got the testing yet. That's so got me nervous. We start testing on May 1st. But next week when we come back Monday, we start testing. But what was I saying?
We're talking about how you tell how good a team is, how many players they put out in the draft.
Right, and you can also tell how bad a coach messed it up. I think I don't know if y'all noticed, but Maryland had quite a few players drafted this year.
Mm-hmm.
So they record should have been better.
Mr. Loxley should have had a better season, but that Big Ten was rough this year.
Big Ten was tough.
It is my last thing. 5 Georgia offensive line coach. They couldn't run the ball. They had 3 offensive linemen picked early. Fire him. He got to go.
Well, that's Stacy Sears. I remember him down in Miami, but I think those guys was drafted more of reputation than production. See, Green, who was Javon Walker? They say the Falcons got Javon Walker. Corey came on there and said that.
Rusher from Georgia. Edge rusher from Georgia, right?
His name is Jalen Walker.
Oh, you talking about the first round pick?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's Mike Trigg's son. Yeah, you know Mike Trigg, Fade.
Yeah.
That's his son. Yeah. Jalen Walker. The DN. Yeah, that's that. Oh, no, my fault. You're right. It's Mykel Williams. That's Trigg's son. Appreciate that, C. Green. My kid, y'all finna say, God damn, he got 2 kids.
I'm about to say,
my bad, Trigg, my bad. But yeah, Mykel Williams is his son. Yeah, Mykel Williams, and he got another one that might be a first rounder next year, the tight end, Mike Trigg Jr. So yeah, shout out to Mike Trigg.
That is, Mykel brother. Where is he at? Mike Trigg is at Clemson? No, he's at.
I think he's at Baylor now, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. I remember when he was getting recruited. Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, out of Tampa Catholic. No, not Catholic. It was Tampa. It was something with Tampa Christian. It was a small school in Tampa. And then he went from Tampa to USC, and then he came to Ole Miss, and then he went. I think he's at Baylor now. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. To me, I think Cleveland had a good draft, even though you drafted 2 quarterbacks. They drafted they drafted no quarterback.
The minute they drafted the 5th rounder, it killed their draft. The minute they did that, and I'm dying to get on this subject.
We got a couple more minutes. We'll get through these losers. I think Kansas City and Philadelphia had some good drafts. Kansas City also answered some questions of the offensive line. Got some more rush. Got another running back. Philadelphia, I don't know what it is about defense, but I think what they're saying is our offense is pretty good. I think we just want to style out this defense just in case. They had a good draft. I think Dallas had a decent draft, even though we know they're going to go 12-5 and not win a playoff game for the conference championship for the 30th straight year. But it's neither here nor there. But
So my comment on the Dallas draft is, do not be surprised if that kid Tyler Booker is not a Pro Bowler in the next year or 2.
I would not be 6'5", 320.
Let me stop the shot. A Pro Bowler mean nothing no more. This kid gonna be all pro. He gonna be the man. He all pro. He gonna be all pro. Yeah, he gonna be all pro. They let everybody be a Pro Bowler now. That kid gonna be all pro.
Did y'all hear? Because he went to IMG.
Yeah,
did y'all hear the reason why he went to Alabama?
Mm-hmm.
They did an interview with this kid in high school. I've been following him since high school. He said the reason why he went to IMG and why he's at Alabama is because he wanted to go somewhere where they're constantly recruiting somebody to come get his spot. He said, "Steel sharp and steel. That's where I want to be. Where somewhere every day the person behind me is coming to get my spot." You say that, grown people say that to kids, but kids don't say that unprompted. That boy, he got the right mentality. Then he went to Alabama and proved it. He's going, like you say, totally, all pro, barn injury, all pro at guard, plug and play.
10 years.
I'm actually rooting for him. I'll watch Dallas just to see him destroy people if possible.
He's from New Jersey, right?
I'm not sure.
Let me go back up. Hold on.
He had been at IMG for a minute though.
Yeah.
Give me something pulling up now. Yeah. Go bio. Nothing. Yeah, Connecticut. He's from Connecticut.
Yeah, somewhere from up there. Yeah.
New Haven, Connecticut.
What the hell he doing up in Connecticut?
When you have winners, you have losers in the draft as well. We'll start with shot with this one. Biggest loser from the draft. I think I know where you're going with this one.
It's funny because as soon as you said who's the winners and losers in the draft, C Green put up Milrow, and I think a lot of y'all know how I felt about Milrow. So I'm gonna say him. Losers, man. You hate to see Pittsburgh come out of the draft with no quarterback. Not that the quarterback class was good. But I really think that they should have probably come out of there with some semblance of a quarterback. Like I said, that's tough. I mean, I can't really think of no teams that really just like screwed up the draft. I know, like I said, I know Arizona did pretty good. I think the Falcons did pretty good. Baltimore did really good. I can't think of no team that really like screwed up the draft. I thought everybody, had a pretty decent draft. Maybe it'll come to me, but off the top of my head, I can't think of it.
What about you, cousin?
I'm gonna say the Falcons for letting that man call that man. That's horrible. That can't happen. I'm sorry, that just cannot happen. That can't happen. I have a son. My son's not finna call somebody to say, you're not finna get drafted. Just keep waiting. Like it's funny. No. And this kid in college. So, but like a shot saying, everybody pretty much had a good draft. I mean, I was a little skeptical about the Browns. The Browns picked SHEDUR a long time ago. That was weird to me. That was very much weird. Me and my principal, who was the head football coach for a long time, I was the line coach for a long time. He was like, "Yeah, SHEDUR coming off right here. SHEDUR coming off right here." And we was both texting, and he was just like, "What in the is going on?" So the Browns taking 2 quarterbacks after taking Graham, which is a good pick, was weird to me. The Steelers not taking him late was weird to me. The Giants picking Jackson Dart over him was weird to me. The Giants taking a quarterback is weird to me because they got my man Jameis Winston, and they got Pretty Ricky, right?
Sierra,
They got Pretty Ricky.
Yeah, Sierra husband.
Yeah, Pretty Ricky,
No.
and they got Jackson Dart in the first round. Come on, man.
So, and I was talking to Malcolm. I was talking to my son right after the first round. And he said, when he called me, I said, "Yo, what the young people saying? I know what the old people think about SHEDUR, or what we talking about, not what they think. What the young people saying?" He said, "None of them ever thought he was a first rounder." He said, and me and him never really had the conversation. He was like, "Daddy, obviously I've seen the film, the coach's film from them playing SHEDUR and them at Jackson State and Cam Ward. I was on the field, although it was special teams. I just had to throw that in there. He said there's no comparison with the way the ball come off of Cam Ward's hands and the way it comes off SHEDUR hands. He said that was never a debate on who was the better quarterback. He said a lot of them felt like Jackson Dart was a better quarterback than SHEDUR. He compared Jackson Dart to what's my man Money Drake. He compared Jackson Dart to Money Drake, and
Drake May,
they was real high on Drake May. They was real high on Drake May, and subsequently I was high on Drake May. So he said, they felt like it was a toss up between SHEDUR and Drake and Dart, and they felt like Dart was better. So this wasn't a surprise. It was just misplayed. I feel bad for the dad of the Falcons because you don't expect, even if obviously they say the breach of security, but you don't expect your son to grab even if I showed it to him, like, hey, here's a list of everybody, ha 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 ha. I'm not expecting him a 21-year-old to take the name and start prank calling the man. I mean, clearly, he's never put his hands on his son. That's all that says. That's never happened. Because I couldn't imagine Malcolm Major doing something like that. Look, bro, let's go ahead and give me that one. Let's go ahead and give me them 2 minutes.
Yeah, I don't see AJ Cloud doing that at all,
Yeah.
ever. No.
No. And I'm gonna get this 100,000 back in blood. I'm gonna get this 100,000. I'm gonna get it back in blood. So whatever your allowance was, we're gonna cut that down until this 100,000 paid off. This ain't my 100,000. This your 100,000. I may take him to the lawyer tomorrow. Whatever the will say, minus 100,000.
So I put interest on there. I put about 6% interest on it too.
Plus that. Reoccurring interest too.
Yeah, every time I think about it, I'll go back to the lawyer, add 2% on there. Add 2%.
Yeah, he had to be like I know I say, not my son. Who? No. Who? Mm-mm.
Yeah, for what I see, for the most part, some need. A lot of teams got needs, but the Raiders kept trading back and back in the draft. Kept trading back. I thought you were gonna trade out the draft. Much they were trading back. Cleveland trading back up to 144 to get SHEDUR. When if you really wanted him, you should have got him in the 3rd round instead of Dylan Gabriel. But Tyler Shock. I think Tyler Shock. I'm trying to think why it sound like a CK and there's a GH at the end of his name, but he's 26 years old, trying to play quarterback. He reminded me of Chris Winkie when he got drafted by the Carolina Panthers. But
Winkie was good. Winkie was good
on college football on PlayStation 2.
And let me just add another team in there that I thought had, and I changed my pick. This team right here had the best draft, in my opinion, by far, now that I'm actually looking at some of the grades, and that's Seattle. Seattle had the best draft, hands down. They got what a lot of gurus, offensive line gurus, say was the best offensive lineman in the draft, and that was that kid, Gray Zabel from North Dakota State, right? Then you got the big-time safety, Nick. I'm not going to try to pronounce it, from South Carolina. You got tight end Jalen Elijah Arroyo, and then you got Jalen Milroe. He could probably be maybe your 2nd, 3rd string running back if that's the route you choose to go. Every now and then, y'all want to throw a trick play in there. Y'all want to do a halfback pass. Perfect candidate for that. Special teams, up back, just in case the team kick onside kicks, you can go ahead and put Jalen Milroe in there, let him field onside kicks, maybe pooch punts, let him field that and do his thing. But for whatever, don't have him throwing the ball to a wide receiver when he dropped back. That's counterproductive. And I've been saying this for 2 years now. So again, one thing I hang my hat on is my unsolicited amateur evaluation on quarterbacks. And I think I've had a pretty good percentage over the past couple of years we've been on the show, right? So let me go on record as saying he can't throw the ball in the ocean from the pier. So I think Jalen Milroe will be a real, real good H-back, slash type player, no Diddy for that offense. Okay. But if you look at Seattle, also look at the fact that they drafted like 9 to 10 players.
Mm-hmm.
So when you talk about the salary cap era, the what they call that, the practice squad, they filled out their roster with a lot of cheap, decent talent. Great job by the GM. They ain't do no trading. They like, look, we want all our picks. We want everything. We spending all our money. We ain't getting nobody no money. So shout out to Seattle for that.
Yeah, Seattle had that extra 2nd round pick from Pittsburgh for trading for DK Metcalf.
Right.
I think they used that to pick Elijah Arroyo. That's what they used that pick on. Yeah, that's a good pick, good solid pick. And don't forget, Damian Martinez went 7th round from BU.
Another big back.
So for that offense, what they're running in Seattle, I think that's going to help out Sam Darnold, who I think was just in a bad circumstance in New York and Carolina, but who also But Baker Mayfield just had a bad circumstance in Cleveland and Carolina and revived himself a little bit with the Rams, and then it's taken off in Tampa Bay. Was let folks know this right fit will show what type of quarterback you are. And I think Bryce Shots godson is going to have a good year this year.
I think so too.
He got offense.
I think so
too. Let me pull their draft board up real quick before we move on to
they got to Terrio McMillan, big wide receiver out of Arizona.
I know Dallas wanted him, but he went a little too quick for him, and I'm surprised that Dallas didn't try to trade back up into the first round to get Golden from Texas, because I think Dallas really need another receiver. Ted McMillan, Nick Scorton for Texas A&M, Princely, Yumamilin for Ole Miss, and Trevor Etienne. That's a good quality pick. Got a mixture, a little bit of everything. Jimmy Horn from Colorado. We'll see. Was that a product? He's a product of the system, where he really has some talent. With Jimmy Horn going in the 6th round, but Carolina have solid draft to me. They hit on almost all they needs. We needed a corner, of course, but I think edge. If you get a lot of edge rush, you get that push up front. That makes life easier on the corners. They don't have to play man no longer 4 or 5 seconds on play. Now we're gonna get to the part of the show that Shot's been waiting on for the last 35 minutes. The fall of SHEDUR Sanders. He was touted as either the first or the second rated quarterback in the draft. He was falling like a ash from a black and mild on the front porch.
In the wind.
Shot. In the wind. We're gonna start with Shot on this one. We'll let Shot just go. We're gonna give you a solo shot on this one. We're gonna give you a solo shot.
Why? Now I don't need a solo shot because I want to check out y'all boys' expression. Plus, I'm worried about them kids with all that damn soda Anatoly got for them kids.
Oh man, the kid gonna have diabetes in 30 minutes.
Yeah, I'm a little worried, to be quite honest. But in my opinion, I don't know how many talk shows y'all have, or sports shows y'all have watched the past couple of days, but I feel, I don't want to say vindicated. I mean vindicated just for the show purpose, because obviously, we want to be right when we have our different opinions, so that we can come back and brag on what we did right and make excuses for what we did wrong. Just us guys, arguing and debating on our opinions on the show. And one of the things that I touched on early was that SHEDUR had only been coached by his dad, right? All from Optimist, high school, college. When they say he's a leader in the locker room, your dad was always the head coach. But I think what happened here was Dion, and if you've been watching some of the shows, you probably heard this already. He grossly overplayed his hand. I think when you talk to people that's in the know, I don't think this kid was ever a first-round draft pick. And then, and I'm not going to take the credit for some of the stuff that I read or heard, but Nick Wright actually made the comment that they don't really take quarterbacks in the 2nd round. The 2nd round produces the least amount of quarterbacks, because technically, if you're going to pick them in the 2nd, then you might as well go ahead and go up and take them in the 1st, so you can get that option year as a 5th year instead of a 4th year. If you take them in the 2nd round, you only got them for 4 years. 1st round, you get that extra year. So if you're gonna draft a quarterback, you might as well take them in the first round. Then also, SHEDUR didn't have, everybody's talking about he's better than this person, he's better than that person. How did he slide? He threw for 3,700 yards. Cal McCord led the nation in passing yards. He was drafted late. Will Howard took his team to a national championship. He was drafted late. I'm missing one. Quinn Ayers was the #1 quarterback in the country coming out of high school, played under legendary offensive mind Steve Sarkisian, and he still failed late in the draft. Well, SHEDUR won the Johnny Unitas Award. What big time person won the Johnny Unitas Award? The kid that they converted from quarterback to tight end won the Johnny Unitas Award. That ain't no award. So we see this all the time. What's the boy from Missouri?
Chase Daniel. Chase Daniel.
Chase Daniels. You know, he led his team to the playoffs, threw for a whole bunch of yards, was a Heisman Trophy finalist, and was drafted in the 7th round. So who owed SHEDUR this? This is basically Deion overplaying his hand. If you ask me, he overplayed his hand. This kid wasn't what he was supposed to be, and the draft spoke. The draft spoke on where he was. And here's the last thing I want to talk about. I blame Louis Riddick, Shannon Sharp, Ocho Cinco, Stephen A. Smith, and all of the analysts that did not want to tell the truth about this kid because they didn't want his daddy coming back and having a negative opinion of you on social media. When they asked Louis Riddick who did he think was the best prospect, Cam Ward or SHEDUR, his first words were, "Y'all know how much I love Deion. I respect him, blah, 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 blah. I'm going to go with Cam Ward." Bro, it was never that close. It was never that close. God, man, that's a loan receipt. Oh, that's the envelope. That's the cash load. Okay. I have to say, I know I got ADHD. Little small stuff distract me. Like that big old case of Mountain Dew threw me off. I might be up all night thinking about the sugar them kids about to take. Yeah, check his basket, lady. Check his basket. That's racial profiling. Don't give her your receipt. I wouldn't have gave her my receipt. I'd have told her, if you want to know what's in my bag, we're gonna go shopping together. But anyway, I just think that they didn't want to tell the truth about SHEDUR. Period. Tell that man, listen, he nice, but he ain't you. They said SHEDUR is a average quarterback, average athlete. Your dad was one of the best athletes to ever play the game. So the genes ain't go that way. They just didn't. Them Pilar genes. Them not Deion genes. It is what it is. I digress. Don't look like that, Faye. Keeping it real, keeping it above.
Yeah, I have no problem with it. I mean, just like you said, yeah, you play on coach you played for with his dad. Yeah, you help turn around a program, but at the same time, I mean, just look. I mean, if you were mobile, you wouldn't have took 60 sacks.
90 sacks in 2 years. Here we talking about.
It was the O-line fault.
Right.
Everything can be the O-line, dog. Just you gotta know we in education. Everything ain't the student fault all the time.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if I got a teacher that constantly let the kids out the class, and I gotta write and I'm not administrator.
Oh no, I write both of them up. You should have walked out. You shouldn't have left without a pass. She ain't give me one. Your fault.
That's your fault.
Your fault. But when was the last time we complimented a quarterback for taking hits? When did that become what's the word I'm looking for? When did that become a positive characteristic of a good quarterback? Oh, SHEDUR is tough. You know, look at all the hits he took. Wait, what? That's a good thing?
He's tough. I remember seeing SHEDUR hold on to the ball and just run around like Fran Tarkenton. They used to just tee me off. Like, I know good and well they got some plays, he can get the ball out of his hand. You got freaking Travis Hunter over there. Just throw it to him, throw it to somebody, get out of it. I think, he played savage football. I said it like he played savage football. Now, I thought he would have went higher than where he went. A lot of people on my social media were saying that it's collusion, it was racism, it was this, it was that. I mean, a lot of people say it's like Charlie Ward, but I know Charlie Ward and his family. Charlie Ward didn't go to not one pro day. He didn't go to visit any football team. He played basketball until the end of March because Florida State went to the Elite Eight. So he didn't try out for any football team. So no, he didn't get picked. They're not gonna pick you if you don't come to work. Come interview. I mean, you're not gonna get a job if you don't come interview. I could be wrong, shot. You ever got a job without interviewing for the job or applying for the job? So they said.
That ain't never happened to me.
So they said that SHEDUR
With the
Sanders
wrong
came.
shape, with the wrong shape of that him.
They said that SHEDUR Sanders came to these things and he didn't take it seriously. When I got the job that I have now, I never thought I would have got the job, but I went in there with a suit on. I had my resume, and I was very polished. I was prepared. I called Fabian. He gave me some pointers, and I took it seriously. And I beat some people who was already certified. SHEDUR already thought he had the job. You can't go in like you gotta go in there hungry. And that's the thing about him playing for his dad for so long. He's never been hungry. It's been given to him. So hopefully this it'll help him in the future to become hungry because he got he got a lot on him. It's six quarterbacks in that doggone locker room. And Deshaun Watson still Deshaun Watson. And Joe Flacco a pro. I'm just saying. He always been a pro. So I mean I like Deion, Well, you know what? I used to like Deion. They went Jackson State. But trying to get over that. But I just think, the kid just gotta work. He got to show me something that will he work for his spot. And I don't know, I don't think that he's built in. I mean, he's a rich kid. I don't see it in him. I'm sorry. I hope that's not rude, but I don't see most rich kids fighting for what they want to fight for. They just want to give it to him. And he's one kid want to give it to him. That's been my stance for a while.
Yeah, I know this from his quotes that he said over the weekend, very humbling, very, what he should say, what he should say. Having said that, I thought this is a hot take. I think SHEDUR is not going to make out of training camp.
Oh man. Oh my goodness, that's a hot take.
I don't think Dillon Gabriel is either. I don't think neither one of those quarterbacks going to make it out of training camp.
Oh, Dillon Gabriel is, because they spent money on him. Yeah, you gonna dance with the chick you bought dinners for. 5th round pick. Let me just say this. 1st round, you should be a starter. They look bad if they look bad if you don't look good. 2nd round is just like a starter. I mean, it's just like a 1st rounder, but you should definitely be starting. 3rd round, you are a projected starter. You are one of the top 100 players in the league. Unless you're a championship team and they want depth, they're expecting you to start. Once you get to the 4th and 5th round, not so much. Your project. Like they literally, like we were just talking about, Faith, they don't draft quarterbacks in the 2nd round. So you go 1st round and they skip it to the 3rd round. Because at that point, I'm drafting a backup. So they didn't view SHEDUR as a backup when the 3rd round came. They viewed Dillon Gabriel as a backup, as a long-term prospect. Because if I'm going to lose that extra year that I lost if I didn't pick him in the 1st, then I'm not going to spend the money. So a 3rd round pick, that's even Steven. I don't really owe him no money. That's the Russell Wilson effect. Once you got to the 5th round, Cleveland, in my opinion, they picked him up just because they want what's the Hard Knock Life? They want Hard Knocks without actually being on HBO. So they wanted the media attention. Because if you look at the picture and they say, I don't like to judge people off a picture. I'm a ref, so I don't just show me no still shot and tell me what it is. But the GM, the black guy, did not look too happy. He wasn't like, oh man, we just got this discount, man. I just got some $300 shoes for $35. He ain't look like that. He looked like he got some $300 shoes that for $100 that everybody gonna ask him why he got them shoes and what he gonna do with them shoes. Somebody gonna ask him every day, you wearing them shoes? You wearing them shoes? You wearing them shoes? That's what he looked like. The white owner, since we want to talk about the collusion,
Jimmy Haslam.
The white owner said, in my opinion, said take him. That's what that picture says. Yeah. The picture says the white owner intervened and said take him. That's what it said.
Go ahead, Tate.
I was just gonna say, I think by them taking SHEDUR takes the heat off of them with Deshaun for this year. I think Deshaun's Achilles is taking the heat off of him for this year because he retore it again and back in December. So he's not playing this year. If he played this year, it's a miracle. and they can't cut him because that's a $76 million cap hit. If you trade him, you have to give up one of your first round picks to get him off your books, and you're still taking the dead cap hit. But I think SHEDUR, if he makes out of training camp, God bless him. But I just don't. He had a great 2 years in Colorado, but was it life changing? Was it transformational? No. You caught a few lucky breaks. You had a kind of a softest schedule in the Big 12 this year. And you got your ass whooped by BYU in the bowl game by an experienced coach that has his team coaching who could have made the playoff. They would have won one or two more games.
I got two things. So since they had the draft, SHEDUR Sanders' jersey has sold the most out of all rookies. So like Shot just said, that's money into the owner's pocket because the team get some of that money. You know, and I never thought I'd say this, but my man, the mailman, Stetson Bennett, is better than SHEDUR Sanders in college.
That's a valid point.
Two-time national champ. And was it if I was
what round was Stetson Bennett drafted?
Fourth.
Like fourth.
Right. And here's the reason why teams like Cleveland stay bad.
Forever.
Yeah. When what you did SHEDUR Sanders and Dylan Gabriel a disservice. You really did. Because you're stuck between a rock and a hard place, and you put yourself there. You really did. Because you can't go with the youth movement because you got Joe Flacco. Kenny Pickett is still a first rounder. He is a first round quarterback. I don't know how much you paid for him, but I think he still might be on that rookie deal. So you're gonna have to figure out what you're gonna do.
He's on his rookie deal.
You look like an idiot if SHEDUR beats out Dylan Gabriel. You look like an idiot.
You waste the money.
Because you wasted a pick. Because remember what I said, the third round pick is supposed to be a starter. Fringe starter. Too deep. And you spent that on the wrong quarterback. Come on now. And now they're going to literally assign reporters to Cleveland camp like they haven't done since Bernie Kosar was there. And everything that you do or don't do with him, again, he's going to be a distraction. He's the fifth quarterback on the roster, Deshaun Watson withstanding. He's the fifth quarterback on. Is it 5 or is it 4?
He'll be the fifth. I'm looking at Cleveland's depth chart now. They only got SHEDUR Sanders listed on the. They got listed. They got Dylan Gabriel, 4 quarterback.
So is Flacco, Kenny Pickett,
Watson, Gabriel,
Dylan Gabriel, and SHEDUR, right?
Yeah, they're the 5 quarterbacks. They got starter Deshaun, but he's hurt. Flacco second, right. Pickett third, Dylan Gabriel fourth, and then
4. So he's the fourth. He's the fourth quarterback. Now, if you're Cleveland, and I know why he slid in the draft, why would you do this to yourself? Now you have to actually worry about whether the 5th round draft pick get reps. Why would you do that? That's why bad teams stay bad. A lot of Dolphins.
And on Sundays, you only dress 2 quarterbacks. On Sundays, that's it. 2 quarterbacks on Sundays, that's it. It ain't like the game fair. You dress 3. In the NFL, you dress 2 quarterbacks. That's it.
Yeah, you
like 8 offensive linemen. That's all you dress.
Yeah.
So
let me say this.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, go ahead, Shaq. Go ahead. Go ahead. Let me say this. The Browns got my guy Nick Chubb at running back. You know, Nick did get hurt, but Nick a freaking nature. He's been working out, showing videos. They can't afford to sign Nick. They can't sign Nick Chubb. They can't afford to sign him because they got all this money in the quarterback position.
They can afford to sign. They don't want to because they can wait till the season start after probably July something. You know, when all that tax money and salary cap and all that come off the books and all that, they could sign him. But I suspect Joe Flacco gonna retire, and then it's gonna be out of Kenny Pickett and Dylan Gabriel to be on the practice squad. It's a lose situation. Like remember what Steve Spurrier said? If you got quarterbacks, you got no quarterbacks. They got four quarterbacks. They got no quarterbacks.
I'm leaning toward a favorite now. SHEDUR might not come out of training. He might not make out of training camp.
Yeah, I believe that
he
too.
Might not. Yeah, he might not.
Yep. I think they'll trade him. I think they'll end up trading him to somebody. I don't know who. I think Pittsburgh would be wise to pick him up, once the dust settles. But that's just dumb. Don't nobody want to come out of practice as a coach or GM, and you asking me about the 5th round pick that got 2 reps? Are you serious?
That's coming to practice with New York Giants cleats on.
Yeah. Oh man, like
why he do this? Let me bring back one point. Shaw was saying the back his point about 2nd round picks, and then I'm gonna give another hot take that should have happened during the draft. There were 11 over the last 8 years. 11 quarterbacks were taken in the 2nd round. Only one has been to the Pro Bowl. We already know who it is.
Jalen Hurts.
Jalen Hurts. Second thing is Jacksonville should have went ahead and traded Sunshine to the Pittsburgh Steelers. You want a quarterback that bad? Go ahead and trade him.
Quarterback? Who's gonna be quarterback?
Don't matter. Duval.
I actually like what Jacksonville did. They showed confidence in Trevor Lawrence and Big Trev, who I still think is the potential to be an elite quarterback. And then they went all in with him with Travis Hunter. I don't want to tip my fantasy football hand, but he should go early. He should go early because Jacksonville is gonna feed him. They're gonna saddle that horse up and try to win the Kentucky Derby.
Him and Brian Thomas Jr.
And that's gonna help Travis.
Mm-hmm.
Being in Jacksonville, because Travis lives in Pooler. I mean, he went to high school in Atlanta. Travis lives in Pooler, which is Savannah, which is right up 95. It's an hour and a half from Jacksonville. So it's gonna help Travis a lot with his family being right there in Pooler, because right off 95, my sister live in Pooler. So that's gonna help Travis. Jacksonville and Pooler is like Miami and Palm Beach.
Okay, that's what's up
for the South Florida folks.
That's good.
Mm-hmm. So, without the traffic.
Yeah, but they ain't nowhere to stay in Jacksonville. Nah. Anytime you bring cruise ships in for the Super Bowl, no, we're not coming back here ever.
You gotta stay in St. Augustine.
Yeah, so
Jacksonville rough, man. I'm scared of Jacksonville. I'm scared of Jacksonville. Jacksonville rough.
Oh yeah, Duval. Yeah, I know. Duval ain't nothing to play with. Duval ain't nothing to play with. So, but yeah, that's my take on SHEDUR. I don't want to be a hater and root against the young man. But if this was not Deion's kid, our outlook would be totally different.
Yeah,
I think I'll leave it at that, because I don't want to openly root against him. I'm not rooting against him. I just want to be right. So, no disrespect to the man.
Yeah, I like I said, I don't think he's gonna make it out of training camp as a Brown.
But we'll see.
We'll see. We got about 4 months, and they're gonna be. I don't know. Have they picked the hard knock team for the training camp yet?
Nah, they don't need to pick Cleveland though. Cleveland already gonna be on hard knocks by themselves. I'm telling you. Everybody want to know now.
They need to make sure Deshaun don't have any tables at his house.
Oh man, they not thinking about Deshaun. Deshaun gonna have to actually get arrested to make the news as far as Cleveland concerned. I'm sure of that.
Yeah, just take that $46 million in the next 2 years. Just
exactly. You won.
You won it, even though you lost. I don't think we're gonna make it to the NBA tonight. Giannis got knocked out 3rd straight year. They got knocked out in the 1st round. Doc Rivers, congratulations, you suck.
Yeah. Yeah, we can tackle NFL next time. It's already 10.
Lakers on 7.
Let me say this. Deshaun, Travis Hunter, draft a punter. Go get a gift for your mother. Wolves in 5.
I tried to tell y'all earlier. I said
Lakers in 7. Lakers in 7. But I'm an Ant-Man guy. Ant-Man, my guy. ATL shot it. Jordan Bulldog. I love Ant.
On the way the Lakers gonna come back, but they choke slam Ant in the game. They put Alex Lynn in and clothesline them. That's the only way they're gonna win.
It might happen. I went to practice yesterday. We got something brewing. We gonna win big tonight. I went to practice yesterday. I flew to LA yesterday.
Hey, that was right on cue. Because my dog, my MF dog, Tick Odom, Reverend Tick. Yeah, Tick, can you pray for the Lakers tonight? If Reverend Tick pray for the Lakers tonight, they got a chance. Otherwise, you know my saying, Anatoly, condoms is lame. Pull out game ain't it. The baby won't have my last name. Wolves in 6.
Hey, real talk. I'm gonna let y'all go, but Ant a bad boy. Ant don't care about nothing out there. He a bad boy.
Real.
I like Ant.
And they hit LeBron with the foul at the end.
Yeah. Hey, but look at those. He'll be a Lakers soon when LeBron leaves. When LeBron, we're gonna go ahead and get Ant. All in for Ant.
Man,
Ant and Luka.
That's when you know technology and your time is the technology is coming, your time is gone. When they went to that replay and said illegal contact by LeBron, I say, oh, he done caused him a game.
Overhead shot. Where that camera came from? Where that camera came from?
They got the and again, I feel bad for LeBron. Father Time is undefeated, but I think him and Father Time had a stalemate. You know, LeBron is the greatest when it comes in during. But if you notice, when you watching basketball, you know when somebody getting old, when they defensive move is the slap down. That's when you know you getting old. Ain't no more sliding the feet. It's the slap down at the end. That's your always. LeBron did it 3 straight times. Slap down. This time he caught the wrist. They got him. Shoot free throws, baby. It's over. It's over, man. Oh man. Well, we're gonna see tonight. I still got Lakers tonight. I got Lakers winning tonight.
Yeah, the only way they're gonna win is they get a Ant-Man clothesline coming down the paint with Alex Lynn. That's the only way they're gonna win. You take out Ant-Man, where the score coming from? But
I predict the Lakers will go up by double digits, maybe even 15, 16 points. And then Minnesota going to come back because I think LeBron going to come out there and leave it all on the floor. And it might be enough to will him the victory tonight, but he won't be able to recover for the game on, I'm guessing, Sunday.
That'll be Friday for Game 6.
Oh, Friday, yeah. If it's a quick turnaround, he won't be available. He won't be himself on Friday. But I think he'll leave it all out on the floor tonight.
Yeah, the Lakers are 7.
Yeah. If they go 7, every game after the night will be every other night. So tonight, then Friday, then Sunday. So there's gonna be.
Oh Jesus.
Yeah. So yeah.
Exactly.
So LeBron. I think I don't know about to go, but I think the reason why JJ let the guys play the whole second half without a break, one that was idiotic, but 2, they had 2 extra day off in between Sunday's game and tonight.
Right.
But at the same time, though, you couldn't put Jared Vanderbilt in for 2 minutes. You could at least 2 minutes. But
he gonna play 46 minutes tonight.
Nah, he better not. He
gonna be dead in the fourth quarter, just like last time.
All right, guys, that's our show for this week. We're gonna come back next week, NBA. I don't know what else we're gonna talk about. We'll wait for Atwater. Atwater, checking your waves in your shirt. We going
for sure. Y'all boys be good, man. Blessings.
All right.